How's it going, everybody, and welcome to Crypto Core, where we dive deep into the crypto space. So, for those of you that watched my first video, I went ahead and got a new mic, so hopefully you guys can hear me a lot better now. And also, like I said, my first video, we're just going to be starting off the basics at first, just for those maybe new to the space, just getting into it, just learning about what Bitcoin is and cryptocurrency and whatnot. And as time goes on, as I make more videos, we'll dive into more interesting topics for those who are maybe already been in the space and more familiar with it than just the basics. So today I want to be talking about what is it? What is Bitcoin, and also what is blockchain, who Satoshi Nakamoto is, what are altcoins, and what is mining and hashing. Now, hopefully this video doesn't end up too long. I just want to just go over the basics real quick, just a brief summary of everything. So I hope that it doesn't end up too long. And also another thing, if you're new to this channel, please like and subscribe. If you like the videos, you like the content that I'm putting out, those couple clicks of effort won't cost you anything, but it really will help build this channel and to hopefully where I would like to see, and hopefully you, the viewers and subscribers as well. I do have big plans for this channel, so I'm excited. Hopefully you guys are too. So if you like what you see, please like and subscribe. I really appreciate it. And also leave a comment as well if you guys have any suggestions as far as what you want me to do research on or talk about, make a video on. Go ahead and leave a comment, and I'll look into it. Hopefully, be able to put out a video of it later on. But at first, I just want to start off with the basics. So let's not waste any more time. Let's just get into it. So, what is Bitcoin? Released as an open source software in 2009, it is the world's first cryptocurrency and is best defined as a digital currency that only exists electronically, meaning that it's only a digital currency and you can't physically possess it. You can't physically own Bitcoin. So please don't go on eBay and trying to buy Bitcoin for $10 and say that, oh, I have Bitcoin now. Nah, that's not real Bitcoin. You know, it's only digital, only get it electronically. So please don't do something like that. Um, Bitcoin is decentralized. It doesn't have a central issuing authority or political institution that controls the amount of Bitcoin in circulation. Um, so it's decentralized. It can never be centralized. No authority or political institution can ever control it. It's made for the people. So that's one of the best aspects as far as Bitcoin goes, is how it's decentralized. So Bitcoin holders are able to transfer Bitcoins via peer-to-peer network. These transactions are tracked on the blockchain, referred to as a giant ledger. This ledger records every Bitcoin transaction ever made, and each block in the blockchain is built up of a data structure based on encrypted Merkle trees. This is particularly useful for detecting fraud or corrupt files. So yeah, so Bitcoin it's a peer-to-peer network. It's so I can send you Bitcoin or you can send me Bitcoin. Every transaction is tracked on the blockchain, on the ledger. It records every transaction, all the data. Go back in history, everything like that. It's all on encrypted Merkle trees, and it will detect fraud or corrupt files, so that every transaction is smooth. So it can never be, you know, any fraudulent activities or any nothing corrupt can end up in part of the transaction. So there isn't a central regulatory agency or government controlling the supply of bitcoins. The total supply to ever be created is capped at 21 million bitcoins. So this is why they call Bitcoin digital gold. Just like gold, there's only a certain amount of gold that's around in the world. So that's the same goes for Bitcoin. There can only ever be 21 million Bitcoins. So Bitcoin was designed to become a deflationary currency to combat the government's use of inflation. Many people praise Bitcoin for empowering the people by overthrowing the currency printing powers of transit politicians. So that's why Bitcoin was one of the reasons why Bitcoin was created, and only 21 million Bitcoins could ever be in circulation, is because to prevent inflation, okay, to prevent from governments just printing fiat money, just printing new bills, causing inflation, causing um, the taxation, hidden taxations, and also to, um, I mean, paper money is it has no real value, you know. So like gold has real value, and you can't make new gold. That's why they have only 21 million bitcoins. So to prevent from this happening, and it's for the people, and to stop the currency printing powers from the government. So how does Bitcoin work? Bitcoin's most appealing features is its ruthless verification process, which greatly minimizes the risk of fraud. Since Bitcoin is decentralized, volunteers referred to as miners constantly verify and update the blockchain. Now, what is mining? I'll go over that in another article. So, simple Bitcoin transaction. So, John would like to buy a cup of coffee from Big Coffee. He ordered the coffee and used his Bitcoin wallet to pay for it. So, wallets, addresses, and keys. A Bitcoin wallet is a collection of Bitcoin addresses and private keys controlled by the software. A Bitcoin address is a cryptographic hash or a string of 34 uppercases and lowercases letters and numbers. So, this is the address, for example, right here. So, a private key is a 64 character cryptographic hash which proves that you own the address and allows you to signal to the network that you are sending coins to a new address. The transaction. John will simply log into his wallet on his phone to create a transaction. He will receive a Bitcoin address, perhaps in the form of a QR code from BitCoffee, and enter the amount of Bitcoin he'd like to send and add the transaction to the network. So John goes into his phone, goes into his wallet, and then he goes into one of his addresses, and whichever one that has Bitcoin's Bitcoin address, sends it to BitCoffee's address, and then it goes on the network, and then once the transaction is verified, then they send the Bitcoin to the Big Coffee store or business. Confirming the transaction. The transaction will be sent to Bitcoin miners who maintain the network. Once they have received it, the transaction is confirmed and John has successfully transferred Bitcoin to BitCoffee. We'll go over Bitcoin wallets in another topic. Um, so why use Bitcoin? It's decentralized and brings power back to the people. No centralized control um, by governments or political powers, one percenters, anything like that. Freedom, freedom. You have control of your cryptocurrency. You send it to whoever you want around the world, across borders. No third party involved, no banks. The security aspect because of on the blockchain and it's very minimal risk of fraud or hacking or anything like that. Um, Low transaction fees compared to crazy fees that third parties might charge you for sending money to um, someone else inside the country or in another country across the borders. So, and what are the disadvantages of Bitcoin? The legal gray area. So some 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 are for it, others are not, um, and governments as well. They're trying to look at the legal aspects of it, trying to figure out what it is, and the SEC approvals, uh, certain countries. So it's a big gray area. I'm not gonna get into that right now. So and then exchange hacks, definitely hacks do happen. It has happened. Um, so that's why it's very important to not keep your cryptocurrencies on an exchange. You want to put it in more of a cold storage wallet or other forms of wallets. We'll get into that into another topic. The liquidity aspect, if it plummets, Bitcoin, the risk and all that. The volatility goes up and down a lot. It's not really stable right now, and the lack of adoption by businesses. It's slow as far as adoption goes, but hopefully in a couple years, It will get adopted. So um, that's all I just want to go over in this article about what is Bitcoin. I'll leave the link below on this article by Coin Central if you want to look more into it. So this article by Invest in Blockchain. What is blockchain? So the very primitive form of blockchain was the hash tree, also known as a Merkle tree, patented by Ralph Merkle in 1979, verifying and handling data between computer systems in a peer-to-peer network of computers. So in 1991, the Merkle tree was used to create a secure chain of blocks, a series of data records. The newest record in this chain would contain the history of the entire chain, and thus the blockchain was created. So this is, of course, the data blocks, and it's like this is why I call it Merkle tree. It's like a tree with the hash, and it just goes through the whole network like a blockchain, and you could go into the history of it. This is how uh, the, it's, all the data is recorded. Um, it secured all the security aspect of it. So in 2008, Satoshi Nakamoto conceptualized the distributed blockchain, contained a secure history of data exchanges, utilized a peer-to-peer network, managed autonomously without a central authority. This became the backbone of Bitcoin. Blockchain we know today was born, as well as the world of cryptocurrency. So Satoshi Nakamoto took the concept of the blockchain, and he used it in his own way to form Bitcoin as a form of a peer-to-peer network with the secure history of data exchanges um, that was founded in the Merkle tree, and that's how Bitcoin was born. So how does blockchain work? Blockchain keeps a record of all data exchanges. This record is referred to as a ledger. Each data exchange is a transaction. Verified transaction is added to the ledger as a block. It utilizes the distributed system to verify each transaction, and it cannot be altered. You get a unique identity. Your keys are the private key and public key. To give you a digital signature, your public keys is how others are able to identify you. Your private key gives you the power to digitally sign and authorize different actions on your behalf. So just kind of like in the first article, just with the wallets and the keys and how transactions and everything work. So you have your private key and your public key, and this is kind of what it goes over. So Alice, same thing, wants to send 500. So Alice's private key signed encrypt. She signs it. She sends it from her private key, sends it on the to the address, and then Alice's public key. This is the verification that's decrypted and sends it to Bob. So this represents your wallet address, public key, and your private key is what lets you authorize transfers, withdrawals, and other actions with your digital property like cryptocurrencies. Keep your private key safe. Anyone who has your private key can use it to access any of your digital assets associated with your public key and do what they want with it. So, the benefit of being able to have decentralization and cryptocurrency, blockchain, and everything else is exactly the peer-to-peer transaction and the network. But exactly, there's no banks or anything like that involved. Okay, there's no third party, anything like that. You send it from you to another individual to you, whatever the case may be. But the downside to it is that you got everyone is so used to just trusting a third party, trusting the banks in control of their assets, their cryptocurrency, that now you have to be more responsible. You have to be very cautious and very aware of hacks or where you store your cryptocurrencies, and like know the difference between your public key and your private key. Because if anyone gets a hold of your private keys, they have complete access to all of your cryptocurrencies. So be very aware and be very cautious of that, and learn how to use it. So your public key is just a randomized sequence of numbers and letters. So you're not literally signing with your own name or some sort of handle. A public key does not tell you the real identity of the person behind it. So um, the public key is what anyone could go and look at on the blockchain as far as transaction goes, where it came from, the history of it, and everything like that. But it's just a set of numbers and letters. So you can't look at someone's public key and be like, oh, that's John Doe from Los Angeles or lives over here, whatever the case may be. No, it's just you just see the address, the public key address, and that's all you can see is a bunch of numbers and letters. And you could like right here, private key, the history of it on the blockchain with the hash, the signature, and the transaction, the history of it, and that's how you could look at where it's going, or the history of it, where it came from, all on the blockchain. Why is decentralization so important? What makes this so appealing is that it makes the blockchain impervious to censorship, tampering, or corruption. There's always a downside. Blockchain technology has a pretty steep learning curve, especially for a typical individual without a technical background. The rising popularity of cryptocurrency is resulting in the blockchain moving to the mainstream. There are a lot of developers, users, and enthusiasts who truly believe in blockchain technology is the future. So if you guys want to look more into it, same thing, leave the link below. Um, so let's get into an article by Coin Sutra, who Satoshi Nakamoto is. Satoshi Nakamoto made the Bitcoin software in 2008 and made it open source in January 2009. And in 2010, Satoshi disappeared. No one even knows what pronoun to use, he, she, or they, while referring to Satoshi Nakamoto, because it is still not clear whether he or she is a person or a group of people. So, exactly like it says, Satoshi Nakamoto created Bitcoin, is the creator of it, and no one knows who Satoshi Nakamoto is, whether it's a he or she, one individual, group of people. No one found out who the creator is. So Satoshi Nakamoto, the inventor of Bitcoin in 2008, someone used this name and mailed the Bitcoin white paper to a cryptographic mailing list. This mailing list contained renowned people who believe in decentralization and cryptography. It assumed that he was a Japanese man, but his flawless use of English in the white paper raises doubts about this conclusion. So this was the white paper that was first sent us November 2008 on the 1st, and this was the name. And this was just the white paper, what Bitcoin was, peer-to-peer e-cash paper um, that adopted the blockchain to be able to use it as Bitcoin to send it peer-to-peer. So, and a lot of people, and the people that he sent it to were known people who believe in decentralization cryptography. So if you want to look into that more, I'll leave the article below. So it's believed that Satoshi Nakamoto owns 1 million bitcoins or more, which makes his present net worth at the time of the writing this article to be $2.6 billion. In 2009, in January 2009, Satoshi mined the Genesis block. In 2010, he officially stopped communicating. Between this period, the bitcoins came into existence, but they have not been used or spent. This proves how much Satoshi owns. 1 million BTC is a huge number, which, if dumped suddenly, could wreak havoc on the crypto market. So you could find the wallet of Satoshi Nakamoto, and not one not one Satoshi has been sent anywhere. The 1 million Bitcoins is still sitting right there in the wallet. But people do have their doubts or fear that one day Satoshi will dump the 1 million bitcoins, which will cause havoc on the market of Bitcoin. So it would do a lot of damage if that was to happen. So we could speculate on it. And there's some other things I'm not going to go into. People speculate who the group of companies were, the people, who Satoshi is. But this one I wanted to look at because this is This is Dorian Prentice Satoshi Nakamoto. Sorry, I forgot to highlight it. But if you look at Satoshi Nakamoto, Bitcoin, you usually see his face a lot everywhere. So in March 2014, another speculation came of the identity of Satoshi. Claimed that they had found Satoshi and he lived in California or USA because of the very familiar name. So he was a physicist and a systems engineer who had recently been laid off by the government. But later on, person identified denied all such claims, and he is not the Nakamoto which everyone has been searching for. So I just want to go over who Satoshi Nakamoto is, so people understand uh, how it was created, who created it. But there's not too much that people really know about Satoshi Nakamoto. So I'll leave this article link below as well. Okay, what are altcoins? This article by The Balance. In the world of cryptocurrency, Bitcoin isn't the only show in town. There are many alternative cryptocurrencies commonly known as altcoins. Alternative coins, altcoins, with their own blockchains, miners, and wallets. Why do we need altcoins? As the first cryptocurrency, Bitcoin has its own particular rules. For example, new coins are produced every 10 minutes on the Bitcoin network. Bitcoin is mined using lots of computing power. Some dedicated computer chips can be specifically designed to mine Bitcoin more quickly than others. There can only ever be 21 million Bitcoins. Bitcoin is designed to be a form of electronic money and nothing else. Alternative to Bitcoins. Instead, many people have taken the basic principles of cryptocurrency and developed their own versions, which, with different rules to suit their own needs, they form the altcoin community, and there are many of them. I'm not going to go into it. Um, this is this is an example of one called Litecoin. Uh, if you want to look more into it, you can. But the basics, if you want to do your own, if you want to look into alternative coins or altcoins, these are some of the things that you got to do your own due diligence on when looking into one, which is beware of scam coins. So um, there are a lot of coins that are created just to scam people, known as pump and dumps, trying to make money off of you, trying to um, market it very well, make it seem they're going to do this, they're going to do that. Great team behind it, great altcoin to invest and get into. ICOs, if you don't know what ICOs are, I'll get into that another topic. Um, so beware of that. Beware of make sure you do your own research, your own due diligence on altcoins so that you don't get scammed. Um, look for different functions. So people create altcoins to be able to do different things in the crypto space. So like Bitcoin is just made as a form of a currency to just send peer to peer, but people make altcoins for many reasons because of the blockchain aspect. People are making altcoins for other uses, more than just sending it as far as a type of money aspect. People create altcoins to, let's say, be able to keep track of certain foods or certain goods in the world, or to be able to uh, what are some other ones? I'm not trying to say no names because I don't want to get into to names of it, but some forms of tracking certain products or be more privacy, be able to have more privacy compared to like something like Bitcoin, or be able to how you purchase a car, or how you're able to actually be able to create a system where you can actually buy certain things, um, versus just a peer to peer from sending one person to another. Um, so just a couple examples. I'm not trying to say no names of actual altcoins. Um, so look at the different functions of it. Um, Backed by a solid team. look into the team, LinkedIn accounts, their history, where they came from, the broad market support, who supports them, um, what articles or papers were written about them, online marketing, they have social media, uh, you know, things like that. Uh, so that's just a quick summary of altcoins. Now mining. This is article written by Benzinga. So just real quick. So mining. What is mining? Cryptocurrency mining includes two functions, namely adding transactions to the blockchain, securing and verifying it, and also releasing new currency. Individual blocks added by miners should contain a proof of work or a POW. Mining needs a computer and a special program which helps miners compete with their peers in solving complicated mathematical problems. This will need huge computer resources. So, um, so there's two functions, which is the transactions, securing and verifying the transactions. Also, mining also is what uh, releases new currency as well. So it does both the transactions, verifying it, securing it, and then releasing new currency. So hash value is a numeric value of fixed length that uniquely identifies data. Miners use their computer to zero in on a hash value less than the target, and whoever is the first to crack it would be considered as the one who mined the block and is eligible to get rewarded. And is eligible to get reward. The reward for mining a block is now 12.5 bitcoins at the time of this article, for example, with Bitcoin. So you need big computers, you need a lot of equipment to be able to mine it, to be able to verify it, and then crack the mathematical problems, um, and to be able to get rewarded for each verification, and then for mining the bitcoins. So this is just some mining pools and sharing of mining. So some type of equipment that they use are ASICs and GPUs, um, big old mining rigs, and these are just type of companies, the mining companies, and who's mining it, all the uh, all the electricity and the power that goes into it, and who's got the bigger percentages of the pool as far as what the mining goes. So just the basics like that. I just wanted to go into. Um, so what is a Bitcoin hash? This is also another article by CoinSutra. So a hash algorithm takes data of any arbitrary size numbers, alphabets, media files, and transforms it into a fixed alphanumeric string. The fixed bit size can vary like 64, 128, 256 bit, depending on what hashing function is being used. A hash is what cryptographic byproduct of a hash algorithm. The hash algorithm has certain unique properties. It produces a unique output or hash and it is a one-way function. The mathematics behind the hash algorithm ensures that there is no way to generate the original data from this generated hash. This is why a hash can be treated as a digital fingerprint of the data processed through the hash function. What is a Bitcoin hash? Bitcoin blocks use SHA 256 or SHA-256 secure hash algorithm. In 2001, SHA-256 was developed by a national security agency, NSA, in the USA. Bitcoin's proof of work algorithm is based on SHA-256. Using this, Bitcoin miners solve computationally difficult math problems to add blocks into the blockchain. Bitcoin blocks are added by verifying the hash on a lottery basis. Yes, a lottery. To successfully mine a block, a miner needs to hash the blocks header in such a way that it is less than or equal to the target. This requires an enormous amount of computational power and hardware resources, which proves that a large amount of work is carried out before mining an individual block. This is why this is called proof of work. Whichever miner first obtains the correct Bitcoin hash will win the lottery and gets the block reward of 12.5 BTC. So same thing. This is the hash and with the numbers, and you have to solve the problem, the mathematical problem, the algorithm, and then once you solve it, um, you crack it, and then you're able to get rewarded for it. And this is why hashing is a big part of the mining aspect, and also with blockchain. It all comes together. So definitely a lot that goes into it. Very sophisticated. So that's just the basics I wanted to go over, just to kind of break down what Bitcoin is, and also you know who the creator was, and also what are alternative coins and blockchain with hashing and mining. So I will leave all the articles down below, the links if you want to finish reading everything else and look more into it. So if you like this video, if you like the content, please like and subscribe. Um, for my next video, I will be talking about the cryptocurrency markets, I believe, and maybe go into exchanges. We'll see. Um, so I appreciate everyone for watching this video, and I'll see you guys on the next one. All right, thank you.